Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Real Estate Tailgate. I am Mike Mitchell, alongside my partner, David Underwood. What's going on, David?
What up, what up?
This is episode 9. Can you believe it, man?
Already.
Crazy.
Yeah. Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Yeah. Mid-June already?
Yeah, man. And
So, we've been on since April, I think?
something like that. And man, I'm going to go with this accent, man, because we got some heat coming, man. In the next week, we got some 90-degree weather coming.
Some Jamaican heat.
Yeah.
Get those AC units on, people.
And episode 9 is an important episode, right?
You know it, man, because we got a guest in the house.
What? Who's here?
Benny.
We got a guest, Benny. We're going to introduce him informally in a few minutes. But first, what's going on? Say hi, Benny.
Hi guys. Thanks for having me.
Hey, man. We're glad to see you. We're gonna formally introduce you here in a sec, man. Give you some big props. But yeah, what's going on? What's going on with the market, man?
Same. I feel like a broken record, but it's the same. You know, rates are high, inventory's low. That's
Man, you don't have to say rates are high and look at me like that, like it's my fault. I mean, I'm the mortgage guy, but you know,
rates are good. Rates are good.
No,
inventory is good. Actually, I'm seeing a little bit, just a smidge more inventory. And
Yeah.
I mean, like in St. Clair Shores, instead of 45, there's like 57. So, but that helps, you know.
Yeah, and actually, from what I'm seeing, and yeah, rates are still high. I mean, compared to what they have been.
Yeah.
We've talked about that plenty of times.
Right. Nothing's going to change this year.
Yeah, rates are rates. I mean,
still selling houses.
Yeah, but
young people, anyone. So
yeah, one of the things that I've kind of seen, I don't know if you've kind of seen this because I know you work with a number of buyers, but I have seen, you know, with the weather getting warmer, I've seen a little bit of what I call buyer fatigue. So I'm trying to keep spirits up with my clients because they're competing against a lot of buyers that are getting tired out there.
Yes.
They're getting tired of competing, getting tired of getting beat out on deals. And if you stay on top of your P's and Q's, you got a better chance. I got a client like that just went under contract, you know.
Yep.
He went and saw a house on a street, and he put in a bid, and they had like 20 offers. That was like less than 3 weeks ago.
Ay, caramba.
Another house on the same street came on the market. Now, they're a little bit different because they're this exact same cookie-cutter home, but the first one was all decked out. The second one's kind of like a clean slate. But he doesn't mind that. Put an offer in. Second day it was on the market. Only offer that was in.
And they took it.
He
Good.
Structured. Helped his realtor structure a good offer, and they accepted it.
That's good. That sounds like the one we did last month, 3 weeks ago.
Exactly.
Kind of. It was pretty similar to that.
Yeah.
Except the other one wasn't decked out, but we put a good offer in, and we had a good agent, and the seller had a number they wanted. He was an investor seller. And long story short, they didn't put it on the market for the weekend and they didn't hold our offer and say, well, let's see what else comes in. We gave them over asking price and they took it. So sometimes it works.
Yeah, you got it.
But some sellers want to, and rightfully so, I get it. They want to see what'll come in, you know, how much better they can get. So, but yeah.
But a lot of that
happens.
A lot of that is timing. You know, and that's what I mean about the fatigue.
Timing.
You know,
A little bit of luck.
Yep.
I'm not going to take credit for that. We got lucky.
Oh yeah, got to have some luck on your
He
side.
could have easily said, it was a Friday afternoon, he could easily said, we're going to let it sit in the market till Sunday, and I'm sure other offers would have came in. There's a good chance something better than ours would have came in, but he saw a good offer, good buyers, good lender, good realtor. It hit his bottom line, and he took it. So it happens.
Yeah. And then, you know, getting back to rates a little bit, I just want to mention today is Wednesday. Today is what we call a double whammy. We've got two things happening in the economic world. We've got CPI data came out this morning. I ain't even looked at it yet. And then we got the Fed meeting today. So that usually doesn't happen a whole lot on the same day.
what?
CPI.
What's
Consumer
CPI?
Consumer price. Index.
Gotcha.
So, you know, that doesn't happen. I think it's only happened, I think 8 times in the last, since maybe the crash or something. But it doesn't happen on the same day a whole lot. So rates might be a little wacky throughout the day today. Nothing major. We're not expecting anything major, but in recent times when we don't expect it sometimes, sometimes things happen. So yeah, so rates
the unexpected.
Yeah, so rates might go up a little bit or go down a little bit, but we'll see how the day plays out. I just want to throw that out there.
Interesting. I'm going to watch.
And then I also want to throw out the fact that I know you're not a huge fan and don't pay attention to it, but our UFL football team, the Michigan Panthers, are done.
Oh,
They're done?
Yeah,
They're
they lost to Birmingham in the conference.
Okay. I did not know. I didn't pay attention.
Yeah, to see if they could go to the championship. Yeah, I know you didn't. I got you covered. But yeah, I caught a part of that game. They had a good season. I think they were 7-3.
Are we going to sign their kicker now?
You know what? There's they keep talking. The last few weeks, I've heard that there's a lot of NFL scouts that have been checking out Jake. I think that's his name, Jake. The kicker. Yeah, he's awesome, man. I actually saw.
Oh, remember that kicker we were talking about a couple episodes ago about the YouTube kicker? I finally remember his name. Kickalicious.
There you go. We knew he had some kind of a catchy.
I was driving to an appointment one day and all of a sudden it popped in my head. I was like, Kickalicious. I almost texted you. You've probably been like, what the hell's wrong with him? Why is he randomly texting
you know
me
who Kickalicious is?
I don't.
Okay. Yeah, it was some guy that was a YouTube sensation, was kicking all these wild kicks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, we started talking about that because of Jake. I think it was the first or second game. And this is a guy that had.
And I'm not comparing him to Kickalicious because I know Kickalicious was. Jake's obviously a pro.
Yeah.
But Kickalicious was a YouTube sensation.
Yeah, but Jake kicked like a 64-yarder.
Yeah.
Like his first or second try, and he hadn't kicked in years. We don't have time for the whole story, but he didn't play for a long time, but now he's probably looking. He's probably going to be picked up by an NFL team, where they're at least going to give him a tryout. Give him a tryout. Give him some serious consideration.
Cool.
Sweet.
So what else is going on in sports, man?
The Tigers.
The Tiger. I got more. I got breaking news.
Oh, what do you got?
Uh-oh.
Joey Chestnut is banned from the hot dog eating contest.
Heard that.
I heard it this morning.
I heard it yesterday, man.
He's the master.
I know.
So see, everyone knows who Joey Chestnut is. Everyone knows who Joey Chestnut
Not
is.
so much Kickalicious.
But do you know the story from
Yes.
what I heard?
He signed a contract with Impossible Hot Dogs. It's vegetarian, and they're not happy with. Nathan's isn't happy with that.
Yeah,
But someone gave a good analogy because some people were like, "Oh, it's ridiculous," and someone was like, "Well, that would be like Michael Jordan and his Nike contract, and he shows up to an event wearing Adidas." It's like you can't do that. Like,
yeah, that's
he's on a contract also with Nathan's. They pay him to come to that contest.
Well, yeah, and
Now he wants to promote, and he wants to promote it there on the 4th of July. You can't do that.
Well, yeah, I mean, once again, this is kind of fresh news over the last day or so. So there's a lot of different versions that were going around. But from what I heard, he did sign a contract, right, with Impossible Foods or whatever.
Something, I don't know
they
the details.
they
didn't give too many details on that.
So it's a rival.
Yeah.
But and I heard a number. He actually got paid the last time he was at Nathan's at the he got paid like $200,000-$400,000, whatever it was. They offered him like a 4-year deal over $1 million, and he turned it down because whatever he signed with Impossible, you're thinking must be better, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Now Impossible doesn't have a problem. They said he can go in any contest he wants. We don't care. Okay, we're good with it. Okay, he's our he's sponsoring our brand. But if he wants to do, because he does different kind of contests, but Nathan's is the one that's drawing the line, saying, well,
yeah, but Nathan's is the
they're the sponsor.
bigger brand.
Well, it's not. But my understanding, it's not like he's going to go there with an Impossible T-shirt on.
You never know.
Okay. Well, yeah, you never know. But that's what I'm saying. The details aren't out yet, so I understand it.
So he's not going to be competing this year. So that means there's opportunity for other people. How many hot dogs can I eat? I can't eat 54.
I can't either.
That was second place. I think second place last year was 54. So.
Wow.
Are you a hot dog guy, Benny?
I like a good hot dog now and then.
Okay.
I sure do.
I do. Yeah, A. You see the magic word A or 2.
Sometimes I'll have 2.
Or 1.5, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's going to be different, I guess. We'll see.
That was a little more exciting than the Tigers, huh?
Yeah. I mean,
No
yeah.
offense, I'm a Detroit Tiger
Even
fan.
though that all sounds impossible.
There we go. Walter, we need that little bump, bump, bump.
Yeah.
Sound bite.
Put a sound clip in there.
Sound clip, yeah.
We'll fix that in post.
Benny, you're fitting right in, bro.
Yeah.
The Tigers are doing all right. They're 2 games under 500. They win some, lose some. They're doing good.
Yeah, they got they just faced the Nationals yesterday. Even though they did not win, it was again 5-4. So nothing to they didn't get blown out. So
Yeah, I think, and once just from what I heard, I don't think people really know the stats. I just heard a stat that they are really in the running for a wild card spot right now. So just so they're trying. Okay, even though we've talked about it, right? We've got good pitching. We need some bats.
yeah,
But knowing that, see, now it's an important time because we're going to be getting to the what is it?
All-Star break?
Well, yeah, is it the trade deadline or something
Oh.
like that? That's going to come up where we need to decide: are we going to be buyers or sellers? Right?
Right.
Are we going to try and pick up a couple pieces and go for it? So, or at least we're there. We're there right now where we're going to need to decide here. So the next several weeks, my understanding, are going to be real crucial, right?
yeah. And I mean, like I said, I've said this on many a program. Look, like this year marks 40 years since the last time we won a pennant. I want one. Okay, I just want one in my lifetime. That's all.
Youngin.
So that's all. That's all I want. If the Cubs can do it, we can do it.
That's how we feel about the Lions.
Oh man,
30 minutes away last year. 30 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike. And what's the Lions' record right now?
Right now?
Yeah. Trick question.
In my mind,
Yeah. Oh, yep.
12-5.
And you know what? I think since the last time we recorded, Stanley Cup playoffs have started. I mean, our wings are not there, but
Wings aren't there. My Rangers got knocked out.
but I think we kind of touched on this. There is a Canadian team in the Stanley Cup finals.
Yep, they're down 0-2. though.
Yeah, they're down 2-0.
2-0.
Yeah, Panthers.
Panthers are a good team, man. They are.
Yeah, well, yeah, they're both good teams. I mean, I believe, and once again, I'm not totally up on my hockey, but I know, Edmonton's, their roster, they've got a couple of the...
It's not over yet. It's not over.
Yeah, well, they've
Connor
got
McDavid's going to make some
I was going to
noise.
say, McDavid is, considered one of the best players, right? But yet, they had a hard time.
We'll see what happens Thursday.
Yep.
Thursday,
So-
big game Thursday.
Absolutely.
So, okay, shall we get to our special guest?
Yeah, because
do
it's really going to be his show.
It's the Benny Show.
We didn't tell him that, but it's really his show today.
So without further ado, it's my honor to introduce my preferred home inspector and friend, Benny Ferlito with Sherlock Home Inspections. How's it going, Benny?
Good. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, glad you're here, man. Glad you're here, and pleasure meeting you.
Thank you. You as well.
So, Benny is a home inspector, okay?
Very important piece.
Very important piece of a real estate transaction. And a lot of people might not think that or might not know that, but that's why we have Benny here as our inaugural guest, our first guest, because we feel it's that important. We feel you're that important, man.
Making me feel good.
Yeah, hey, it's the truth. It's the truth. And when someone buys a home, whether they're a first-time buyer or a seasoned buyer, they've bought homes in the past. As a lender, I always remind them and suggest to them that they get a home inspection. When I'm going through my home buyer assessment, I always make sure that they understand that that's going to be part of the process. So first step is try to get under contract. And then right after that, you want to get that home inspection done.
First hurdle. First hurdle's the home inspection.
And why do you want to get that done right away, Mike?
So you know what you're getting, so you don't want to be locked into a major investment and then come to find out it's a wreck or anything major is wrong with it.
Right. And
that gives you that window to back out of the deal within that time frame, as we talked about before, which is typically, it could be whatever you write it up as, but it's typically 5 to 7 days.
Yep. And when it comes to a home inspector, I usually tell my clients, hey, you can use whoever you want. You can go online, you can find a home inspector, but it might be a good idea to use someone that's recommended
Exactly.
And so as a real estate agent, you already mentioned he's your preferred one. So
he is, and I do the same. I always say, you need to get a home inspection. Do you have one in mind, or do you need a referral? Most times they don't. Sometimes they do. Most times they ask me, and Benny's my go-to guy. I've known him for years. He's been doing a lot of inspections for me over the years, and never had a complaint. I would use him if I was buying a new house, so I feel good about it. But I always give them the option. You can obviously use whoever you want.
Yep, and that's exactly what I say too. And
I've never had a complaint, by the way, after recommending Benny. So
that's awesome. And I say the same thing. I say, check with your agent. Your agent probably has a good recommendation. I have some recommendations because I always keep a few in my database of really good home inspectors that I would trust, which I feel is important. And but they can use whoever they want. Okay. And so the first thing is setting up an appointment. They pick who they want. They set up an appointment, and that's where Benny comes in. Okay, Benny, when someone contacts you and they want to get a home inspection, can you kind of give us an idea of like how your conversation goes?
Yeah, a lot of times I get the phone call, sometimes from the agent, but usually from the client, and they'll ask me, few times do they ask me the price, although they get that when I give them a confirmation, but I ask them for their information, the address of the house, their full name, their email address, obviously their phone number. And then I send that I put it in the system, and then that goes over to their email and then their agent's email as well. So they got everything they need to know that they're ready to go, and I show up usually 20 minutes early, maybe a half hour early, so I can get a good look at the house first, and then when they get there, we start the inspection, and I walk them around and pretty much educate them. A lot of my job is educating people on what I'm seeing and the cost perhaps to fix it, or what they have to do to fix it. Because anything on a house can be fixed, right? It's just a question of whether or not you want to pay top dollar and spend another $50,000 on it after you move in. So that's what I'm there for. I'm there to just kind of bring things up and say, well, you got this crack in the foundation. It's bigger than 1/8 of an inch. You're probably going to need to have somebody other than myself, a foundational expert, look at that and give you a price. Stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's good points, man. And what's one of the things that I love about home inspectors, good ones, you mentioned, is the education part, because especially for first-time buyers,
especially for first-time
buyers.
Yeah,
because nothing against them, but a lot of times they don't have a clue. I mean, and educating them is not just about, well, I see this and I see that, but good home inspectors I know will say, hey, this is something that you want to check once a year. You see what I'm saying?
Correct.
Like normal maintenance. They bring up normal maintenance things and things that down the road. Okay, like this water heater is so many years old. You're good for a while, but you want to keep an eye on it once it gets this many years old or whatever.
Right. Everything has a maturity level. All your mechanicals and so forth. And if a hot water heater's 20 years old, it could go tomorrow.
Right, but you let them know that.
But it's in good shape, so you might see, a couple more years out of it. But don't wait till it starts leaking.
Exactly.
That's the thing.
And that's, like I said, that's what I love about it, is you can point some of those things out.
Right.
That they wouldn't even think. Even, like I said, even seasoned buyers sometimes don't think about that.
Correct.
Right?
Right. You know why? Because they're emotional about it too. So they find a house they love. They might fall in love with the kitchen. It's got beautiful granite and top-of-the-line custom cabinets. And there might be a crack in the basement wall that's visible to everyone, but they don't see it because their mind's on the kitchen. And, they fell in love with the house. So Benny takes the emotion out of that. He's a third party looking at it.
Exactly.
Even myself looking at a house, sometimes I would miss something if I fell in love with the house.
Oh, sure.
I need someone I need a third set of eyes.
Guys are famous for garages. If it's a nice garage, they forget about the house.
Yeah, well, yeah, because they're already visioning what they're going to do with it. I mean, that's what every time they walk in there, they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to do that, right? So they're not really looking at it. So yeah, you bringing them to reality. I really love that. Now let me ask you this: when a home buyer does contact you, and you mentioned that they might bring up the price, whatever. I know every home inspector or home inspection company might be a little different on how they have their pricing structured. But one of the things I do is I tell my clients, look, when you pick the home inspector, keep in mind the home inspector, and you should have a conversation about what things you want done in the inspection, other than because like sometimes there may be. I've had clients in the past that want to have like air testing done because they got bad allergies. I think radon testing is real popular here.
Radon's a big one
in Michigan. So is that something? Oh, in sewer scopes.
And sewer scopes, that's another really big one that people kind of forget about. They forget about that sanitary line coming from the house to the main in the street or near the street. And so I always recommend that they get a sewer scope. And I can help facilitate that. I have 3 guys that go out and do a great job for me. And I always kind of take part in their sewer scope and just kind of ask questions for the client and make sure that the client understands about everything, you know. But yeah, that's one really important thing. Sewers. You don't want to find out that you have a $20,000 fix after you move in because you have a collapsed line.
Right?
Ouch.
Ouch.
And
It happens.
And it happens. I mean, it's one of those things that's out of sight, out of mind, but it needs to be done.
Yeah. No, yeah. And I wanted to bring that up because that's, I try to educate my clients and tell them, look, because the first question they ask me is, well, how much is the home inspection going to be? I'm like, well, it depends on who you pick. It depends on what you're going to have done.
Mm-hmm. And it depends, it goes by square footage. My base price is $290, and I go up from there depending on the size of the house. Obviously, an 800 square foot home is going to be less than a 5,000 square foot home.
Exactly.
And typically, purchase agreements are written up, at least that's how I write them up. Typically, I think most agents do, say the 5 to 7 day window. Excuse me. It says you could have as many inspections as you want in that period. So it doesn't have to be all in one day or all in 2 hours. Mm-hmm. You can have Benny do the home inspection, might have the radon. Radon usually takes 2 days, right, Benny?
It takes 48 hours for the test.
So
yeah.
You can have that done. You can have the sewer scope done the next day if you can't coordinate it all in the same day. So you can have as many inspections done as you want typically in that time frame. Doesn't have to be just one inspection. So you always have that opportunity.
Right, and my job tends to not be fully exhaustive, so I don't do the sewer scope myself. I bring in somebody that's his thing. That's what he knows.
That's what I dig about your company, that you guys do that. That you
way
have
I pick
a
the
dedicated
best people
sewer
I know.
person who's a plumber. Mm-hmm. A licensed plumber does it, not no offense to home inspectors or even realtors, because I've seen too many sewer inspections and sewer scopes. I've watched them myself, but it's nice to see that it's an actual plumber that's doing it.
Right. Some people feel like they may have skin in the game for doing a fix, but they can give you a price. You always should get multiple prices on anything anyway.
Right.
So to keep everybody fair, or at least know you're not getting ripped off.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. So, a typical home inspection on an average size home, how long should someone expect for that to take approximately?
2.5 to 3.5 hours, depending on the size of the home.
Okay.
I have a partner in this business, Dave Claw. He couldn't make it today because he's on inspections. But if it's a really big home, so we don't take up 4 or 5 hours of people's time, we'll send 2 of us, and we'll take care of it. We did a 5,000 square footer in Grosse Pointe a couple days ago, and we had that done in 2.5 hours.
Awesome.
With 2 of us. And it was a big home, and it was built in the 30s, so it was older. Mm-hmm. So we had to really look at things and make sure that everything was sound.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So you just said really look at things. What kind of wild things have you seen recently, man?
Oh, gosh. Well, not recent, but one of the funkiest things I've ever found is about a 6-foot bird nest in an attic space. It was taller than me and as wide as I am
6
tall.
foot?
6 foot.
What was it, a pterodactyl?
Right. No, house sparrows. Actually, a really small bird. But over generations of house sparrows, they keep adding on to that thing, and it becomes like an apartment building.
Little bird condo complex.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And so that was probably one of the. I've seen a lot, but that's one of the craziest things I think I've seen in a house that had to be removed and cleaned. And of course, I've seen bats. Major bat infestations in attic areas, which is kind of dirty because of all the guano underneath them and everything, so you got to be careful of that. But I actually do see bat droppings in a lot of attic areas, and people have no idea.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and not just in the country.
Not just in the country. It seems to be the the bigger, newer homes sometimes are the culprits. You know, they have a lot of spaces they can get in, usually in soffit areas and, you know, return areas, stuff like that on the roof.
Yeah, and that's an area that I would imagine most people don't pay attention to.
Not at all.
Yeah,
You
another
know,
attic out of sight, just
Yeah.
like the sewer.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I got a client that within the last year, a client that was looking at, he went and saw $1 million home. He was thinking about putting an offer in a nicer, I consider it newer sub in Rochester Hills, one of the suburbs here in the Metro Detroit area, and you know, the house was listed for like 1.2 or something like that. And I keep thinking it was built like maybe in the late 90s. So it wasn't that old. It wasn't like built in the 40s or 50s. And it was being sold by the original owners. Anyways, during the home inspection, in the attic, the home inspector found what I call the hat trick. Birds, mice, and bats. And all of their belongings. So, and there were some other things with the house.
Sounds like a nice community up there.
Yeah, hey. They were probably. It sounded like they were enjoying themselves. But,
A nice diverse
neighborhood.
community.
Yeah. There you go.
And but there were some other issues with the home too. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because it doesn't matter how old the house is, right? It doesn't matter where it's at, how old it is. That's why we're stressing the home inspection is so important. Okay.
Yeah, and I'm sure the rest of the house is absolutely gorgeous.
Well,
right?
yeah,
1.2 million.
Well, if you look at the listing
Yeah.
pictures, you're like, this is a beautiful home. And you look at the neighborhood, it's an exclusive sub. But the original owners, it sounds like the original owners, when they moved in, were already elderly, and they bought a brand new home and probably felt they didn't need to take care of it, and probably didn't pay
Probably
attention.
didn't even know.
Yeah, they didn't pay attention to some of the things that
Yeah.
some of your normal maintenance, and so things like that will happen.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure you've pretty much seen it all.
I've seen a lot. You know, when you think you've seen it all, something comes up and say, wow, I have not seen that before. But, you know, I've seen a lot.
Now, how far out do you go? What areas do you cover?
I try to travel if I have to, and I'll do most of Southeast Michigan, but Wayne County, Macomb County, Oakland County, and adjoining counties.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
So I go pretty far and wide. I mean, we hate to turn down an inspection if we can do it.
Okay.
Sometimes it'll take all day to run out, an hour and a half away, and then travel back with it'll end up taking 6-7 hours because it takes so long to get there and back. But it goes with the territory.
Okay. No, that's good to know. Because even though you and Mike know each other real well, you and I just met today.
Yeah.
And definitely adding you to my small database of home inspectors. I don't get a lot of requests, but
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
yeah, it's good.
We're
to
very
know.
thorough. We are very thorough.
Hey, Mike speaks very highly of you, and I trust Mike most of the time. No, he's my man. Mike's my guy. So Walter, man, how we doing on time, bro?
We are at just a little over half hour.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Time flies.
Real,
when
real
you're having
quick,
fun.
real
So-
quick. Can Benny have the floor? You want to tell us about your company or
Yeah,
give us your quick little resume?
Sure. If you need an inspection, you can look me up on Google under Sherlock Home Inspections. I have a website as well under MacombHomeInspections.com. You can schedule on the website or you can call me. My cell phone number is on both, so feel free to give me a call if you want to find out a little bit about what I do and schedule it through me. Absolutely can do that.
Yeah, and I love the name. That's Sherlock, but it's spelled S-U-R-E lock.
L-O-C-K.
L-O-C-K. Sherlock. Is there anything else you want to throw in, or you thought that you want to cover, or that?
Let me just shout out how many different types of inspections we do.
Okay.
How about that? So we do residential inspections, of course, roof to basement. We get on the roof, we check out the roof, we move through the house, do the attic, move through the house, end up in the substructure in the basement, check out all your mechanicals, the walls, the floor, pretty much top to bottom. That's the residential. And then the commercial inspections are very much like that. We also do investment inspections. We do a lot of those. Commercial inspections, I already mentioned. New construction inspections, which a lot of people would think, hey, you don't need it's a brand new house. What could be wrong with it? Well, let me tell you. I have found 10 different things wrong with it, And you're under warranty for a year, so why not spend a couple $100, $300 to have that home inspected by an inspector before you move in?
That's a great
Then
point.
you know things, they have to be fixed if they're found out, and then, you get 12 months, you get a year of warranty on that. So some people will hire me on the 11th month after they lived there for almost a year and say, hey, come on out and do an inspection for me. Right now, because I only got a month left under my warranty, I want to find out if there's anything that that can be taken care of. So we do that. Sometimes also we do I facilitate well and septic inspections. I don't do those myself because that's a whole nother animal. That can take 3 hours. So I can have them there doing the inspection while I'm there doing my home inspection, and then we can get it all done in one day sometimes. So that's a real helpful thing. We do wood destroying organism inspections. Okay, so
Termite.
Termite.
Some
powder
people don't
post
believe in that
beetles,
here in Michigan, but there
black
are.
ants.
There are termites in
Yep.
I've had someone tell me there's no termites in Michigan. I've seen termite damage.
Oh yeah,
I've seen it.
Yep. We don't see a lot of it.
Not a lot, but I've seen it in this area.
I'll tell you what's really bad now with wood destroying insects are the carpenter bees, which kind of showed up about a decade ago in force, and they will drill holes in your house in the wood parts of your home, and they can cause a lot of damage. Yep. And then I mentioned sewer scoping. I facilitate that too. And then we do a water analysis also. If you need a water analysis, a lot of times when you're on a private well, you want to find out what's in that water and what can we do to repair that. If it's bad.
That's very important too, because I've sold homes, high-end homes that had wells out like in White Lake, and the owner had no idea. We had it tested. Why not? Like we're buying this expensive home. And the levels were not right, and the owner was really upset about it. Not at us, but he's like, "Oh my God, I had no idea."
Yeah.
So,
and
it was a simple fix.
Typically, they
It was
can
a simple
repair that.
fix,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So.
And from a lending standpoint, depending on the loan product that you're using, sometimes it's required. Some of the water testing is required. Some of the wood destroying
organisms,
inspections are required. So, great points. Great information.
Well, great to have you here, Benny. We appreciate you coming on.
Happy to be here, guys. Thanks very much.
So we got time for one quick segment, Mr. Hooper.
Yeah, go for it.
It's what time it is.
Oh,
It's time for Under the Bus with David Underwood.
Oh man.
who does he throw under the bus today?
Well, the theme of the show is home inspections, right? And I kind of touched on this, but I said you should always get a home inspection. That's what I always suggest. Now, not everyone does that. But, in this market, in this crazy market, Mike, you see or hear about offers that are going in where people are waiving a home inspection to try and make their offer look stronger, right?
Some of these bidding wars are that crazy, yes. I've seen it happen. And sometimes I tell my people, we just can't compete with that unless you want to do that, which I don't recommend. But I mean, I've done it.
Yeah, and
because it depends who the buyer is, and if they're confident, they feel good.
Yeah, but who I'm throwing under the bus is some of the realtors that are just, unfortunately, they're probably trying to get the deal done more than taking care of their client. Okay, you can't make someone get a home inspection. But my thing is I've just heard comments and conversations over the last couple of years, about it just made me feel uncomfortable that maybe the realtor didn't spend enough time saying, look, this is important. You can write an offer without a home inspection, but to really stress how important it is, if you're not doing that and you're a realtor, I'm throwing you under the bus. Okay?
Oh, no.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I agree with you.
So,
and real quick, one other way you can get around, I mean, it's not getting around it, but you could shorten the home inspection contingency to try and remain competitive. So instead of 5 to 7 days, say, hey, I contact Benny, say, hey, are you busy? Like, can you do this inspection for me like tomorrow or the next day? And put a 2-day contingency on it.
Yep.
And then tell them, hey, we're getting this inspected ASAP. So you will know we're not going to screw around. We're not going to delay you at all. Of course, it's not as to the seller. It's still a contingency, but sometimes that helps and you still get your inspection.
oh, you'd be surprised. Every little bit helps nowadays.
No, that's right, Mike. I mean, I've had calls where people, hey, can you do it this afternoon? And if I don't have an inspection, me and Dave have both done them the same afternoon because of that.
Because of this market.
I can get the inspection today, and sometimes they'll win the bid because of it.
Yep.
Hey, I know we're running long, but I want to bring up one other point that we didn't cover. Home inspections sometimes can even be real important pre-sale, right?
Absolutely. Yep, that's
So-
another good angle. I mean, we do those. I don't think I mentioned that, but you can do pre-sale inspections to find out what needs to be fixed on your house before you go to market.
So the seller's going to hire you to inspect
So
their
the seller
home
would hire me correct.
before they put the market. That way they know what's going on.
Yeah, I didn't want to forget to
So
bring
no
that up.
surprises when they get an offer and the buyer has their inspection. If they even choose to, sometimes you can share it.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, yep. So if you know someone or if you're thinking about selling, keep that in mind as well. Sometimes that helps you out because it helps prevent issues during the
No
transaction.
surprises,
No
yep.
surprises. Yeah. Once again, thanks so much, man.
Yeah, thanks,
Benny,
Benny.
for hanging out with us today. I guess we're going to close out one more time, Benny. Best way for people to contact you?
Yep. All you got to do is go to Sherlock Home Inspections on Google. We have our numbers, our reviews, everything is there. Or you can go to MacombHomeInspections.com. That's my website address.
Awesome. And Mike?
Mike Mitchell, 586, call or text 586-291-2652.
And me, Dave Underwood, Top Flight Financial. Best to call or text 248-219-3457. Please, people, like and share us and watch us on YouTube and on
Spotify.
Yeah, we're on Spotify now, folks, in case you didn't know. And big props and thanks again to our trusted and loved producer, Walter Hooper of WA Hooper Marketing.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. And folks, we'll see you on the next one.
Thank you. That's a wrap.